Hello everyone, I am Palpatine001 aka The Senate, and we are back with Cities Skylines 2, Manukau Ranges 3.1, putting in the local infrastructure and the zones. Yes, the zones. Oh, excuse me there. That was my lunch, aka an orange. So in 3.0 I gave an overview of the development of Manukau City Centre, Manukau Way, Manukau Riverside, and basically what are we trying to achieve, what are we trying to attract into our city. 3.1 we're doing the local infrastructure. Now by local infrastructure I mean, if we zoom in, you can see the main roads and all that, and in some places you can start seeing the local infrastructure. These are basically your smaller roads that come off the bigger ones where the bulk of your zoning, especially for residential, will come and sit, and also do the zoning as well. Now, due to the constraints for the city centre and that, some of the local infrastructure has already been done, but in other places it will be done. So we'll develop up our local infrastructure first, then we'll do the zones. Then coming up in 3.2 we do the rest of the civic infrastructure, particularly schools, additional schools where they might be necessary. And of course that will continue on in 3.4, because 3.3 we let rip, and in 3.4 we start doing some touch-ups along the way. Although given I'll be bringing online 3 districts at once, all with quite medium and high density, it will take the simulator quite a while to get everyone moving in. Oh, also with 3.2 we also do transit routing, especially for buses and trams, and the metro. So let's jump down into 3.1 and finish off the local zoning, aka the smaller roads, and when some places the highways with their walls. Because they actually lower the sound. Also form as a good delineator. Delineator through. I can't do that probably because there's a column under there, so just make sure that's just got something like commercial, which is a little bit more tolerant to the noise. And I think I've already done most of those, so I don't need to worry about any of that, except maybe for because that's elevated, isn't it? It is, so could do it or just leave it alone. Okay, let's drop down to the local roads. Grids are your friends, we all know this, so favourite one will be this. Use the grid pattern. Okay, would help if I actually, if we do it. Not gonna be very big, so okay, so that's all fine there. What we'll do is I'll just jump over to, don't think it's going to, yes it will, because I will bring, what we'll do is bring in the roundabout first, so a large roundabout in this instance, never mind. Because local infrastructure is what's going to influence the zones, and that's where it's all going to happen. I'm just wondering if a roundabout is going to be particularly wise, or am I going to be dropping it back to traffic signals? It's actually all going to come down to the pedestrians, to be honest. I think we'll we'll do a roundabout. If I need to drop it to signals, we will drop it to traffic signals. It's no biggie to do. Just a both way. Oh, this is both ways. These. Brakes is zoning a bit, it also just helps out. So that's one piece of local road ready to go. Don't need anything there. There is a hill that I don't really want. Oh, could go over. Where's the road? There. So in that case, we'll just do. I should remember to have this on. That clicking sound you can hear is telling me it's set to 180 degrees. Yeah, that's okay. And if I wanted to, I could drop in another one there. Of course, I was going to do that. And then we just add in some cul-de-sacs. And then another small roundabout. Okay, so that's that piece of local infrastructure done. Pushing up against the highway, not particularly interested. That's there. That will be, if I need to bring a road in that way, that will be so I can extend any civic infrastructure that is required. Now, yeah, we want to keep this as a pedestrian path. They are a bit OP, but with the lack of cycleways, you're a bit. Come one back. We are a bit stuck at the moment. Trust me, we are pushing for cycleways because in Cities Skylines 2, they were just the absolute OP and just moving things across local and in some cases, quite long distances too. Just wondering. Just do, yeah, that forms that up, and oops, there we go, another piece there. Shoot back across here. Do we need any in here? Not really for the... Could do, if I do, would be... leave that alone. Use that as informal green space. So that's them all counted in there. Notice one way in, one way out. It's to stop them. I can actually technically bring in a pedestrian path here, and that it slows them so far down it's still easy to go through the road. And then we'll just use normal paths to connect up, especially when we start doing the transit stops. If you want to know that, that's a substation. 10 employees seems a bit off. Okay, so that's down here. Let's look and see where we can work it through here. So we'll do this next. Basically, in doing the local infrastructure, what I'm doing is following the category systems. So highways, large roads, medium roads, and your small basic roads. And then of course you've got your pre-made intersections, roundabouts, cul-de-sacs, parking spaces. So parking spaces will get done, is usually done here as well, if any. And then of course overall services. So we'll continue along here. So this is all in the Chinese area, what will become the Chinese urban area. So it's probably a good idea, to be honest, to have this as or we can just leave it actually backing as well, I suppose one way of doing it is leave it as alleyway, do it as alleyways. Because this isn't typically a thoroughfare road in of itself. Oop, that doesn't quite work. Oops, just waiting for the clicking sound. Then we'll just, again, cul-de-sacs. Oh hell, cul-de-sac. Okay, so that's all fine there, it's all fine there. Come around the corner. And that would be tempting for a roundabout. So we could do a, again, just something. Not really needed there, not really needed there. Okay, so that's basically all this side ready to go local wise. I said this will be extended out. We could actually do one more set. Oops, that's just the mouse button. Hang on, I think the easiest way to do that is do that and then go back to an alley road. There you go. Yeah, it just gives a little bit more bang for buck. Ironically, yes, there's I've got street parking in here. We'll cut down the need for parking buildings in of its own right. If you're wondering if you get a free lunch through your parking, oh, no such thing. $35 a day, and the parking buildings can be even more expensive, depending on where it is. Right. There you go. So that's that one there. Okay, we'll just check these areas. It would actually help if I brought up the roads. Thank you. So we're just looking for areas that we can backfill that do not cause any more intersections than what we've got. As you can see, they're already starting to move into the signature buildings. Okay, and there's a good case we can have a go at here. Gee, I'll tell you what I'll do in a minute. I've just clicked on that. It's like, why don't you make it one way? One way. Thank you, caller. I'm just about to do that. And then if I really want to, I can even chuck in a roundabout. Now the catch is, do you want to connect it up into there? No. Not for that one. For that, what we would do, and this is just me jumping over a bit, easiest way to do that, so I don't want to cause an intersection, but we do need a tram stop. Sorry. What side of the are we on? It's still North American, so what you would do, and those are bus stops anyway. Try that again. Okay, they form pedestrian crossings already. So, while rarely discussed, what you would do yeah, okay, give me a second. Problem is, it's probably going to raise the road slightly as well. Oh well. Not the budget, not yet anyway. Okay, so yeah, they come up and over and split across anyway, and then I can put in a, just wondering, it's going to be 1 or 2. I'm hoping it's, I can, yes, I can get it in. Perfect. I'm just wondering out of curiosity. I don't think we'll necessarily, because it's going, oh, will actually, huh. Well, there's some deep-seated irony. These form good connections up as well. So, oh, hang on. Might have an idea. Now, I'm just wondering, this is going to be something to be of interest looking under. Yeah, I think this is going to actually work, so I can actually take that out. Now it's a case of trying to get under and see it without the bulldozer tool on. Where is it? Okay, so it's going to be a bit picky. Which is nothing unusual for this park. Don't get it right and it gets extraordinarily picky on you. I'll leave it for the moment, come back over off screen and fix that up. Anyway, so that's fixed that up. That's all done. Ah, yes, finish extending. Oh, that can be done as an extension later. That's no really big one for the moment. Because I suppose I could. In all honesty, just run this up, finish it off quickly. Oh, ha! Funky. Okay, so don't do that. And you can have fun running it all the way up there if you wish to. Okay, so that's that part done. That's a case of do I don't. It becomes a case of do I don't I, or do I leave that free for some of the bigger civic stuff that needs to eventually come out of there. We do have a 2-lane road also, which is interesting of itself. What I want to do there, I don't know. That'll be something we could do later. We can even probably pop a bridge over and connect it all up. Back here, leave that because it's already been zoned. It just gets trees. And that's the cargo. So the local is... Oh, I suppose I could also... If I really wanted to... No, it's all hills and that. Is it worth the intersection doing? Is going to be the better question. Nah, leave it alone. Not everything needs to be plastered. Okay, so we're now ready to go with the zoning, which now it's going to be very interesting because it's... You got to remember this is northeastern USA and North American. This is all China, and this is whatever I want to feel like. So then, let's get cracking with those zones. Okay. Zoning time. Where we already haven't placed them, of course. Okay, that's finished the zoning in there. So we'll now just shoot into moving over into the rest of the districts. And this is going to be very interesting. Now, the traffic right off the bat is going to be congested for quite a long time. So we've got to bear this in mind when we let the simulator rip. So we've got to be careful for quite a while. Otherwise, we could, yeah, things could get funky pretty quick. What's their school? So leave that free. Put that in. Actually, no, go straight to medium density in there. Okay, so that's all the zoning done in here. Now let's drop down here. And oh, I have an idea for in here. Let's continue along here. Take the northeast off, put that back on. I mightn't rezone all this immediately. Some of it I will purposely leave alone for the moment. And just that, like, to be honest, I could theoretically leave all that alone and just backfill it as required. But back down here we can definitely do. And that will actually look quite cute. And now it's one of the new zones. I think that's the only one it really does. Okay. Whoops, this is now playing fun with the zones. That's going to be quite noisy, so that might be actually better to leave it like that. As we continue coming along. To be honest, you know, that would work fine in there as well. Then shoot back over, come into the northeast. And of course the row housing too. Finish that off. Got all in here to work with too. I might just cut over to. See, low density isn't in demand at the moment, so no point doing low density as such. could spice it up a bit. Go a little bit French. Actually, they'd probably keep that row housing. That's German, so I should really do that. As German, although if I really wanted to, actually I could do that and then French officers. I don't think we're going to have an office problem for a while. Far from it. Okay, so leave that free. Leave all that free because it's for so actually I will come back to the Chinese content pack here. Bit of a mix and match. Bit of a mix and match in that one. Just leave it like that and I can come back across the zoning like that. Okay, so that is the zoning for now. Some of this I'll leave out because I will, depending on what I need to do there. So that's the zoning complete, which now means we've completed 3.1. Where this takes us now is to do 3.2, which is the civic and green infrastructure and transport routing. So we shall jump into effectively the next video. I'm Palpatine001, aka the Senate, and we have done 3.1, the local infrastructure and those zones. We'll be back with 3.2, doing the last of the civic and green infrastructure plus the transport routing, or basically setting up the transit lines.